Before we start on 4.8, you will have a test next Monday. So this will be the last section of chapter 4. You'll do your chapter review on Thursday, and then test next Monday. Probably then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm not sure what we'll do. We're not going to start chapter 5 right before Thanksgiving. So Monday will be your chapter 4 test. Make sure you see me before then. So that brings us up to section 4.8 again, which is another method for solving systems. You can use matrices to solve systems. So this will be the 5th method that we've covered in order to find out where two lines intersect. So we'll get right into it. Ask questions if you got them. Looking at example 1 on page 216, you have that system there. 5x minus 6y equals negative 47. 3x plus 2y equals negative 17. So you're going to write matrix equations with these and then solve them using inverses. The first part of your homework just wants you to write a matrix equation. You don't actually have to solve it. Make sure you read those directions, because yesterday a lot of kids were actually going through all the steps of solving. You don't have to. All you have to do is write a matrix equation on the first one. So that's all we're going to do on this problem. So your first matrix that you'll write is a 2 by 2, just involving those 4 coefficients. That's all you have to put in the first 2 by 2 matrix. So 5, negative 6, 3, and 2. That's how you'll start every problem, just writing those coefficients in a 2 by 2 matrix. And then you will have times the variable matrix xy. That's obviously the 2 variables that are involved here. And that equals the constant matrix. So that's how you'll set up all the problems today. That'll be the first thing you'll do, is write that matrix equation. Now, if your directions just say write the matrix equation, then that right there is all you have to do. Questions on that? It's pretty simple, just to put those in matrices. So, like I said, the first, I think 1 and 2, that's what you'll do, is write that equation. So we'll go ahead and do a couple examples where you actually do have to solve them, because again, they are systems of equations. We're trying to figure out where the 2 lines cross. 6x plus 2y equals 11. X minus 8y equals 1. So this time we actually are solving. We want to find out where those 2 lines intersect. So the first thing again is write your matrix equation. 6, 2, 3, and negative 8. As always, make sure if it's minus, you put that in there like the negative 8. Make sure you don't put positive 8. Times xy, that's what we're solving for, trying to find out what x and y are. And then that equals 11 and 1. So again, that's just another example of what you'll do on the first problems, is write your matrix equation. Now, you don't have to write this down, but if you had 2 times x equals 4 up there, how would you solve for x? Divide by 2. So that's pretty much what you have right here. You've got this number, all number matrix, times the variables equals your numbers over there. So you can't divide by this matrix, but you can do something that we'll get rid of. So just like you said up here, you would divide, and that would give you x equals 2. So you've solved for x. You're going to do the same type of thing over here. The way you get rid of this matrix is multiply by the inverse on both sides. So you have to find the inverse of this matrix every time and multiply by it. So to find that inverse, what would we have on the bottom? What would we be multiplying? No, to find the determinant. 6 times -8. And what always goes in the middle? Or minus, right? For determinants, it's always minus. And then 3 times 2. So what would that give us? -48 minus 6. -1/54. And then remember how you have to move those values around inside that matrix. You switch these two, so it's -8 and 6. Don't change the sign, you just switch those two. And then these two, you change the sign. Since they're both positive, you make them both negative. -3 and -2. Don't distribute the fraction like we did last section. Just leave that up front for right now. We will eventually multiply by it, but you don't do that in the first step. So as I said, once you find the inverse of that, which we just did right up there, you multiply both sides of the equation times that. You don't have to write it over here every time. I'm just showing you so you don't have to write this part down. You can if you want, and you don't have to in your homework. I'm just showing you that we are multiplying times that inverse, so all of this will cancel. That's the whole idea. That's the goal of multiplying times the inverse. Cancels all of that. What? They always cancel. That's the whole idea. So that leaves you with xy. So we've got the variable by itself. So again, you don't have to write that over there and cross it off. I just wanted to illustrate what we are doing there. No, we got to multiply both sides. We're just putting that down. Since your bigger one is going to be second when you multiply these, you could write it right there, but you would have this matrix over here, and it's easier normally to have that first. So I would rearrange that in your first step here. And then that is times 11/1. So we're just multiplying the inverse times both sides. But again, I'd rewrite it so it's in a better order for multiplication. And you don't want to do anything with that 1/54 yet. You want to multiply the two matrices first. So again, it's just another review of multiplying matrices, but you'll have to do a lot on your test because that's, you pretty much multiplying in about every section we've done. And it is always row times column, row times column. So -8 times 11, -88. And what is the operation always in multiplication? Is it add or subtract? Yeah, it's always plus when you're multiplying. And then -2 times 1 would be -2. You can do the same thing with the second row. -33 plus 6. So what do you get on the top there? -90. And on the bottom? -27. Thank you. And then you can distribute that fraction in and get your final answer. So -1/54 times -90. Should give you 5/3. And -1/54 times -27 will give you 1/2. So that is your ordered pair, again, that we're always looking for. 5/3 for the X, 1/2. It's just another way to find where those two lines intersect. Anybody have a question? Would anybody like to see another one of those for your homework? Be happy to do so. But if you got it, you got it. Homework problems, Dan. 1 through 11. You can skip number 3 and 14 through 23.